Hello and welcome. Honestly, the first couple of times I did this, I did it with a script and I had kind of a dialogue going on in my brain, but it didn't feel real. It felt kind of like a lecture. And in the end, I am no expert to give such detailed or scientific blah blah blah. So I decided to just speak my brain. Um, I called this podcast, and here I'm talking about Tibih, or to be honest. I really feel like there's this area between adulthood and childhood that many people are in, but we don't really kind of have content for us. I personally, I really, really, really love podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time. But the problem is, I feel like most of them are aimed at people who are already somewhere there, like people who have a job and want to improve at it. You wake up earlier, so you have more time during your life, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not there yet. I'm kind of like this in this progress space. And I feel like we people in these areas don't really have a space to talk or to share their experiences and so on. And this is actually what I aim to do here. I hopefully will have guests at some point, and I hope I will go by the concept of by the young for the young. So it's basically just the young talking to each other. And by the young, I don't mean like 13 years old, no. I'm talking here about some people who are like 16 to 24, I think. And today I actually have an interesting topic. I question who we are without our socials. What is the image that is created or we create for ourselves on the social media? And I feel like on social media, I am not totally different person, but I have some different aspects to who I am in real life. On social media, I can basically post anything. If I want to be a clown, I can be a clown. If I want to be an emo, I can be an emo. I can be anything there. But in real life, there is someone, and I feel sometimes you don't even post your real self on social media. I sometimes notice that I post something because of the likes I get. It gives you kind of like this social relevance, blah blah blah. But you should always be authentic, I think. You should question who you are if you remove all other factors. If you remove social media, if you remove your friends, if you remove any external content, who are you deep down? If you sit with yourself, who really are you? And that's very interesting. A lot of people, especially in this time, don't really know who they are because of the little time you're given. Any space you have, or any kind of 10 minutes you have waiting for something, waiting in line or something, you just take your phone out, text someone, or scroll or call. You don't really have that time with yourself, and therefore you don't really understand who you are. And understanding you are, I think, is a very important thing in life, and you have to do it in the early stages. I think you have to do it. I personally, first time I actually sat with myself was after first year of uni. That's when I spent a whole summer just with myself, trying to understand who I am and what do I want to do in life. And it helped me a lot. I realized that there are a lot of things that I used to do that I don't really like, and the opposite of things I like but didn't really do. It's kind of understanding yourself, as I said. And without your phone, you're able to do that more. Another thing I think social media does to us is it stops us. It actually motivates us and stops us from being motivated at the same time. So I feel like I'm always motivated when I see videos of like tennis. I'm just scrolling and then I see a tennis video. I'm like, oh, I didn't play tennis in a while, and so on. And that actually happens a lot. The only reason I actually remember that I want to go play tennis is always from my reels. And it's very inspiring. I think it's not always bad as people show it. You can actually benefit from it. It can motivate you. It always gives me ideas. I instead of just going on Arc Daily or so on and searching for projects, I can just scroll on my feed and I see different projects, and there are a lot of amazing content out there that explains so many important things. Even if if you're just scrolling for fun, it's okay to have some fun during the day. I personally don't really agree with the idea of, people who post videos like, I deleted social media 3 years ago. It's a bit extreme, I think, in my opinion. I don't see myself doing that. I do understand it, but I won't really do it myself. I feel like I feel like a lot. Interesting. I should just call the podcast I feel like. Maybe. Anyways, in my opinion, what was I saying again? I forgot. Being motivated, yeah. But at the same time, it unmotivates us, because what really motivates us in life, if you go back to the caveman, it's dopamine. Because you have a good meal, you're like, I want to have that again, and then dopamine kicks. So it's the fuel that makes you go and get the reward. The dopamine is not the reward itself. And in social media, dopamine is like, oh, I saw this reel once, really loved it, let's go do that again. And that's what you do. So you go on your phone, basically dopamine kicks, you go on your phone, you scroll. If you get a reward or not, that's not related to dopamine. But the thing is, it stops us from being motivated because we receive a reward with less effort now. We don't really need to go hunt and then cook and then light a fire, blah blah blah, cook and so on. You can just open your phone, swipe, and then click an app and then swipe, and you get the same effective, not even better. I think I'm not sure about how dopamine levels are. I never went into it, but that's basically how it keeps us unmotivated. If you go to the center box, an experiment that was done back in the days, a pigeon and a button. The pigeon clicks on the button, gets food. Okay, easy, simple. Then they change it so that when the pigeon clicks on the button, it may get food and may not. And the element of uncertainty sparked the dopamine so high. And that's what happens in your reels, basically. So this is I think a changing point in history. So you go on you open your phone, you go on Instagram and you scroll, or TikTok or whatever, and you don't know what reel you're gonna like and what you're not gonna like. So it gives you that element of it gives you that curiosity. So you keep scrolling, and then at some point it does hit a reward. You're like, oh, I like this. And then you keep scrolling, searching for more. And you keep searching. While in the first place, dopamine should motivate you to do that same thing, that same mechanism, to like want more and more and more. But in real life, not on social media or content or so on. You have to search for more in life. Oh, I remember one time I went cliff jumping. I personally did cliff jumping. And if I remember it, I would love to go again. And then what would make me go is the dopamine. So the dopamine would be like, oh, I remember we did that once. So nice. Let's do that again. And this is how the mechanism works. But social media also affects us in the way we're playing this social game. So basically, first of all, let's all agree that I personally believe, and I agree, that it's a monarchy. Depending on how many how many followers, likes, or so on you have, you're on a different social level. So recently I met this guy, very nice guy. He has 80,000 followers, and once I saw that, I subconsciously already put that guy on a higher level than what I put myself on. And I don't think that's always the case, because you have people who post random things, but you still put them on higher level because they're more socially relevant than you are. And this is one way we're playing the social game. The other way is how we are comparing ourselves to experts. So I'm comparing myself to Gordon Ramsay in cooking, and to The Rock, for example, in the gym. I'm basically taking the best at something and I'm comparing myself to him in this specific hobby or specific talent. And it's unhealthy because it makes us, how do I say this? It makes us see less of ourselves. Because there's this guy I follow. I really enjoy books, and I follow this guy, and he reads a lot. And I don't know how he manages that, to be honest. He reads like a book every 4 days or something. And every time I open a story by him or something, I feel bad because I'm not reading as much and I should be reading more. Same sitting, I'm just scrolling next story, and there's this guy who's really good at dressing. I'm like, I really need to dress better. I compare myself to him. Okay, sometimes it actually motivates you to do better. Okay, so I'm like, oh yeah, I should read more. Okay, that's good. But when you compare yourself to so many people, it's, I think, a very toxic thing, because it stresses you out and it pressures you, and then you just don't really feel motivated to do anything, and you just keep scrolling more because you have energy that you have to waste. So scroll, and who can't move a finger? Really, who can't move a finger? Are you that lazy? I don't think so. So I personally have been on a journey trying to find a balance between socials and unsocials, trying to limit my screen time basically. And first of all, I remember I deleted multiple times. Whenever I feel like I'm using socials way too much, I'll probably delete that and then just use it on my laptop. So then I can't really check it all the time. And I just sit down there. I'm like, I need to do something. Sometimes I do nothing. I just open YouTube. I know, not good. But sometimes I actually do something. One thing I realized that's actually very beneficial for me is making my home screen and lock screen black. It makes your phone depressing. And for me, that really works. I remember one time I changed it to a happy photo of a horse. Very, very cute pic. But it kind of made me want to check my phone more. It made my phone happy. So I changed it back straight away. Not straight away. Actually, after a month or two. I changed it back to black. And I realized I actually lessened my screen time. And I don't have many things on my home screen. So I only have... Oh, this is the best part. So once I open my phone, I swipe, open my phone, and I have screen time right in my face, this widget. So whenever I open my phone, I see how good or bad I'm doing. And it keeps me updated on how high my screen time is. I think it really helps. It genuinely does. To be always aware, you kind of feel bad sometimes and you don't scroll as much or open your phone as much. I think this really works. There's also, my favorite, mi favorito. There's this app called Opal. I've been using it for like a year, 2. It's really great. I have this usually during my finals because I study architecture and I really have to focus during my finals. So I basically have my Instagram locked and I can unlock it only 3 times a day for 5 minutes each. So max is 15 minutes. And sometimes I do skip and I get another 3 more minutes. 3 more trials a day. But still, it's way less than how would it be if I just had it normally. I forgot to say this, but well, you can't compare your behind the scenes to someone's highlights. And I think that's the way that many people of today are in depression, because we constantly see people doing things. A guy is having a beautiful breakfast. You scroll next story, a guy's on a beach. And there you are, you're just laying in bed. And you feel like you're doing nothing. I honestly feel this a lot. I feel like I'm wasting my beautiful years, especially that I'm still 19. So I'm wasting the best days of my life just crashing on my couch. That's how they say it. Crashing your couch. Crash on your couch. So I actually always keep this quote in mind. To not really to bear in mind that these people, this is the best of their life. Let them enjoy it, but and again, you don't actually have to show the best in your life. You can just live it. You don't have to prove to anyone that you're living well. You're enjoying your life. Just enjoy it, bro. I went on a camping trip, like I don't know how long ago, but there was no service, and for a whole day, I just left my phone in the bag and didn't even take any pictures. And I feel this is when you truly become alive, because there's this idea or concept I have that when you know you can see the pictures later, you don't really live the moment. Because if I take a picture of something, I can just go back to that picture anytime I want. But when I can't, and I have to kind of engrave it in my brain, that's when you truly live the moment, I think. Right? That makes sense. I think it does. It makes perfect sense. So live the moment. Yeah, live the moment. Don't just post your best moments and then assume that's how you live them. No. Your Instagram is not your memories, it's not your experiences. It's again not your CV as well. I mean, they might check it with your CV, but you can show your true self there. If you like goofy pictures or whatever, post them. If you like more dark quotes, post them. I mean, no one cares if that's your true self or not. People who don't like whatever you post will just unfollow, and then life goes on. And that actually, this realization came to me a while ago, because Instagram was blocked where I live for like a week. And then I realized most of the people I follow don't even care about. Like, I don't care what they have for breakfast. I don't care where they're going. I mean, I do know them. They're nice people. I would love to meet you in real life, but I really don't care what you do. So I used to mute them, but now I just unfollow them. And the problem is that causes you a whole drama of, why did you unfollow me? People think you hate them or something, you have beef. But no, just no. And yeah, people just have to get used to it. These are just my personal thoughts. Don't go do that and then be like, oh, he said that. I did not say, wait, I did say. I said, but I do not take I take responsibility for what I say. Yes, I do. These are my thoughts. Screw you. And yeah, I think that's all. I think that's what I have in mind now. Just live your life. Try, okay? You don't even have to make it, as they always say, I don't remember who said this anyways, but little progress. Just if you can decrease it by like 2 minutes a day, that's super. That's a whole hour in a month. Perfecto. Just live your life. Take care and much love. From Tibet, to be honest. To be honest. Thank you very much.